I never thought my own father would betray me like that, framing me for embezzlement to cover his tracks, letting me rot in federal prison while he climbed higher in the shadows of power. But when that experimental neural swap tech from his black budget lab glitched during the transfer, trapping his mind in my body and mine in his, I saw my chance, revenge, raw and unfiltered. Starting with spitting that vintage Cabernet across the gala table as Trump's voice boomed about draining the swamp. In that moment, as the wine splattered his silk tie and the room gasped, I whispered to the reflection in the spoon, "Your turn to choke on the truth, Dad." Washington, D.C. In the summer of 2025 felt like a pressure cooker. The kind where deals were cut in smoke-filled backrooms and loyalties evaporated faster than the Potomac under a brutal sun. I was Aubrey Harlan, 28, fresh out of a stint at Georgetown Law, interning for a senator who promised the world if I played ball. My dad, Senator Elias Harlan, was the kingmaker, the silver-tongued devil who'd clawed his way from a Rust Belt factory town to the marble halls of Capitol Hill. He was my hero once, the man who taught me to spot a lie from across a crowded fundraiser. "Power's a game, Aubrey," he'd say, clapping my shoulder with that alligator grin. "And winners rewrite the rules. But heroes fall hard when the spotlights hit their skeletons." It started 6 months earlier, at the annual Gridiron Dinner, that glitzy roast where politicos pretend to laugh at their own scandals. The room was a who's who of D.C. Sharks, lobbyists in $1,000 tuxes, reporters nursing grudges like old whiskeys, and enough Botox to preserve a pharaoh. I was there as Dad's plus one, squeezed into a sheath dress that cost more than my student loans, smiling through small talk about tax cuts and border walls. President Trump, back in the Oval after that wild 2024 rematch, was the keynote, his voice crackling over the speakers like gravel under tank treads. He was midway through a tirade on deep state traders, jabbing a finger at the camera as if he could see us all squirming. "These crooks in suits. Folks, they steal your money, your jobs, your damn future, and they think they can hide behind their fancy degrees and fake smiles. Time to drain the swamp, once and for all." The crowd chuckled nervously, but Dad's face went the color of uncooked dough. I glanced at him, expecting the usual eye roll. He'd always called Trump a useful idiot in private, a chaos agent who kept the real players scrambling. Then it happened. Dad's hand jerked, his crystal goblet tilting like a guillotine. A spray of deep red Cabernet arced through the air, splattering across the tablecloth, hitting my lapel, the ambassador's wife beside us, even flecking the edge of the podium photo op setup. The room froze, forks midair, laughs dying in throats. Trump's words kept rolling, oblivious. "And believe me, we're gonna make him pay. Big league." Dad's mouth hung open, wine dribbling down his chin, his eyes bulging like he'd swallowed a live wire. "Oh my God, Elias," I hissed, dabbing at the mess with my napkin, heat flooding my face. The flashes popped like gunfire, paparazzi feasting on the carcass of our family's polished facade. Whispers rippled. "Harlan's losing it. Trump's got him spooked." "What's the old man's hiding?" He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, muttering, "That son of a bitch," low enough for only me to hear. But the damage was done. By morning, the Post ran at front page. Senator Harlan's wine-fueled meltdown. Trump's swamp jab hits home. Dad retreated to his Colorama townhouse, barking orders at aides over encrypted lines, while I fielded calls from recruiters wondering if the Harlans were damaged goods. That night, as I nursed a glass of the same vintage in my foggy bottom apartment alone, Because who'd want to be seen with the girl whose dad just auditioned for a viral fail compilation? Dad called. His voice was steel wrapped in velvet, the way it got when he was cornered. Aubrey, baby, you gotta believe me. It was the stress. That speech. It stirred up old ghosts. But we're Harlans. We don't fold. I wanted to believe him.
God, I did.
He'd raised me single-handed after Mom's overdose when I was 10, pills and politics. Her escape from the circus. He'd been my rock, drilling into me that family was the only loyalty that mattered. Blood's thicker than ink. Kiddo, he'd say, signing my report cards with a flourish. So I swallowed the embarrassment, showed up at his office the next day with coffee and a smile, ready to spin the narrative. But cracks spiderwebbed fast. Whispers in the cloakroom about Dad's creative accounting on that defense contractor slush fund. An anonymous tip to the FBI, emails from his private server, funneled through shell core in the Caymans, siphoning millions meant for veteran PTSD programs. The kind of betrayal that didn't just tank a career, it buried it under federal indictments. And me, I was the fall guy. Or girl. It turned out, those emails bore my digital fingerprints, my Georgetown login, my IP from the intern desk, my naive sign-off on routine approvals. Dad had routed it all through my workstation months back, during that training exercise he insisted on. Gotta toughen you up. Aubrey, real power means getting your hands dirty. I'd laughed it off then, typing away while he hovered, that proud dad gleam in his eye.
Now.
As agents swarmed his office, badges flashing, cuffs clicking, I stood there in my pencil skirt and pearls, watching him play the victim. My daughter. She must have been duped. Some hacker. Foreign influence, Russia. China. Take your pick. His eyes met mine across the chaos. Pleading. But I saw the flicker, calculation, cold as a winter Potomac. They hauled me out in front of the cameras, zip ties biting my wrists, the DC. Humidity turning my blouse to a second skin. No comment, I shouted. Because what else do you say when your world's imploding? Dad watched from the steps. Face a mask of paternal anguish, mouthing I'm sorry as the van door slammed. Liar. Prison was Leavenworth, that federal fortress in Kansas, where the walls whispered secrets of men who'd once shaken hands with presidents. 6 months in solitary for obstruction, then general pop with the white-collar witches, tax evaders, insider traders, the occasional politico's mistress. I traded law books for GED classes, my cell for a bunk that smelled of bleach and regret. Letters from Dad piled up. Proud of you for staying strong. We'll fight this.
Love.
Your father. Bullshit. I burned them one by one, the flames dancing like the truth I'd ignored. But Dad, he thrived. Resigned for health reasons, then pivoted to consulting, lobbying gigs with the same contractors he'd bled dry. Pundit spots on Fox, railing against Biden's revenge prosecutions. Hell, he even keynoted a CPAC after-party, toasting family values while I shoveled slop in the mess hall. The betrayal gnawed at me, a slow acid etch on my soul. He'd sacrificed me his blood, his legacy for his empire. And the secret? Buried deeper than the emails, Mom hadn't OD'd. Dad had pushed those pills, covering a fair scandal that would have ended his first Senate run. I'd found the coroner's report in his study once, as a teen, but he'd spun it as grief research, lies upon lies. Release came on a technicality, prosecutorial overreach. My pro bono lawyer crowed. But freedom tasted like ash.
DC.
Had moved on. Old friends ghosted. My bar exam dreams deferred. I crashed at a cousin's in Arlington. Scrolling Dad's Instagram, him at Mar-a-Lago fundraisers. Arm around a blonde half his age. Captioning, "Making America Great Again, with family first." That's when the call came. Not from him, from a ghost in his machine.
DR.
Lena Voss. Neural engineer on his old DARPA pet project, Project Echo. Black budget brain scrambling tech for interrogation enhancement. Officially dead after ethics blowback. But Dad had kept a lab humming in a Virginia bunker. Chasing immortality swaps for the elite. Your father. He volunteered you, Voss whispered over a burner line. Said it was rehab, but the glitch, it's unstable. You in his body. Him in yours. The transfer misfired during a test run last week. My heart jackhammered. Body swap? Science fiction bleeding into my revenge porn. Voss had the fix, a reversal protocol. But it'd cost access to Dad's servers. Proof of his crimes. Help me end this, she said. And I'll give you the keys to his kingdom. I didn't hesitate. Met her in a Shenandoah motel. Rain lashing the windows like Judgment Day. She was wiry. 50s. Eyes like shattered glass, whistleblower burnout. Plugged me into a jury-rigged rig. Electrodes humming. Sedatives burning blue in my veins. Visions flashed, Dad's memories bleeding into mine. Boardrooms where he laughed about disposable interns. Mom's last night. Him force-feeding her Ativan to calm the hysterics. And the swap, him gloating in my reflection. Practicing my voice for a tearful tell-all. Poor Aubrey. Led astray by radicals. I woke in his skin, 62. Paunchy. Liver spots mapping his decline. Voss handed me a mirror, salt and pepper hair. Crow's feet etched deep. He's got 48 hours before neural decay sets in. Make it count. Power surged through me like uncut coke. Dad's phone buzzed. Invites. Codes. The digital keys to DC's underbelly. I drove his Audi back to the city. Pulse thundering. Plotting the unraveling. First move. The humiliation encore. That pack gala in National Harbor, where Dad was slated to MC a Patriot panel. I slipped in as him. Voice modulator app smoothing the gravel. Suit tailored tight. The crowd was red-hatted rapture. MAGA diehards chanting. Trump Jr. Schmoozing the VIPs. I took the stage. Mic hot. Heart a war drum. Ladies and gentlemen. I boomed. Channeling his cadence. Tonight we celebrate the fight against the swamp. But let's be real. Some creatures in this town. They deserve the boot. Laughter swelled. Then I cued the video, spliced footage from Voss's archives. Dad, in my body, ranting to a mirror about dumping the bitch daughter to save the seat. Gasps rippled. I leaned in, eyes locking on the front row where his fiancée sat pale. And family? Hell. Sometimes you gotta spit out the rot before it poisons the whole damn barrel. I raised a glass, Cabernet, naturally, and let it fly. Wine arced like judgment, drenching the podium, splashing the junior. Look-alike. Chaos erupted, screams, flashes, security scrambling. Harlan's cracking up, someone yelled. I bolted backstage. Adrenaline electric. Shedding the jacket in an alley. Dad's empire. Fracturing live on C-SPAN. But he was fighting back. In my body, slender. Unscarred, he'd hold up in the townhouse. Spinning alibis to his cronies. I hacked his email from a VPN in a Georgetown Starbucks. Please for help. Bribes dangled. The girls possessed some deepfake psyop.
Q.
I leaked the mom files to ProPublica, coroner's report, affair transcripts. By noon, headline screamed, Senator Harlan's dark secret, cover-up in wife's death? The controversial calls came fast. Do I torch the contractors, bankrupting vet's funds to expose the graft? Or frame his mistress, ruining an innocent to draw him out? I chose both, Gray's own morality. The American way. Wired anonymous tips to the DOJ, then doxed her OnlyFans side hustle to the National Enquirer. Power's dirty. Dad, I muttered to his empty office, rifling drawers for the Echo hard drive. Time you tasted the mud. Voss met me at midnight. Lab coat over fatigues. The bunker reeking of ozone and regret. He's mobilizing private security, XSALS with NDAs thicker than Bibles. We prepped the reversal, a Faraday cage humming with illicit voltage. Monitors flickering Dad's neural map. But as the rig whirred to life, his voice crackled over the intercom, my voice, laced with venom. Aubrey, you ungrateful little shit. This ends now. Doors burst, boots thumping. Shadows in tack gear. Voss went down first. Tossed, crumpling like wet paper. I fought, his arthritic fists flailing, but they zip-tied me to the chair. Dad strode in, my lithe frame dwarfing the goons, eyes burning with his fury. You think you can play God with my life? I built this for us. For you, I snarled, tasting blood, his blood. Mom. Me, we were collateral. He laughed, cold as a filibuster. Collateral wins elections.
Now.
We'll swap back, and you'll take the fall for Voss. Terrorism charges. Echo was stolen tech. Poetic? Ain't it? The rig fired up. Needles pricking. World dissolving to static. But Voss, God bless her bleeding heart genius, had rigged a failsafe. A surge. A scream hissed from my lips. When the fog cleared, I was me again, 28, scarred but whole. And him?
Trapped.
Not in a body, in limbo. Neural echo bouncing in the machine's ghost code. A digital purgatory. He begged through the speakers. Voice glitching. Aubrey. Mercy. Family. I pulled the plug. Silence. Absolute. Voss, bandaged and bitter, handed me the drive. Upload it all. Let the world see. The climax hit at dawn. A presser outside the DOJ. Me in jeans and a tee, flanked by lawyers who'd smelled blood. Senator Harlan didn't just steal money, he stole lives.
Meaning.
My mother's. And now, he's paying the ultimate price. Leaks flooded. Swaps. Cover-ups. The works. Indictments rained, his allies scattered like roaches.
But the twist?
As I walked free, phone buzzing with book deals and apologies, Voss confessed over coffee in a dive off K Street. The swap. It wasn't a glitch. I did it. Your dad approached me first for a clean slate, erasing his sins. But I saw your files. The prison psych evals. You deserve the power. Not him. He was always the monster. You just carried the weight. My stomach twisted. Had I been puppet? Or was it fate's cruel joke, daughter avenging a father she never knew? I stared at the Capitol dome, gleaming under a blood-orange sky. Victory tasted like wine gone sour. Dad's ghost haunted my dreams, spitting accusations. Was I the hero? Or just the next Harlan? Trading souls for the spotlight? DC. Moved on. As it does new scandals. Same swamp. I took a gig with a watchdog NGO. Fighting the fights he taught me, but twisted right. Happy ending?
For some. Me?
I sleep with one eye open, wondering if power's just another betrayal waiting to bloom.
And you?
Judge me if you dare. In America, we all spit a little wine eventually. The upload went viral faster than a TikTok scandal. Hashtags like Harlan Swap and Daddy Dearest exploding across X and the feeds. By breakfast, CNN had looped the bunker footage, grainy cams catching Dad's digital whale. My face twisted in his rage. Pundits piled on. Is this the end of elite impunity? Or a dangerous precedent for vigilante justice? I watched from a safe house in Bethesda, Voss nursing a black eye. Her laptop a war room of encrypted drops. You're trending.
Kid, she said.
Popping painkillers like candy. But trending means targets. His donors don't play nice. She wasn't wrong. By lunch, my cousin's place was torched, arson. The cops called it electrical fault, my ass. I relocated to a no-tell motel in Anacostia. The kind where hookers and hopefuls blurred lines under neon buzz. Sleep came in fits. Haunted by echoes. Mom's laugh from old home videos. Dad's gravelly love you. Champ before the cuffs. Betrayal's a bitch. It rewires your brain. Turns love to shrapnel. But revenge? It's the high that keeps you breathing. I dove deeper into the drive, terabytes of dirt. Echo wasn't just a swap toy, it was Dad's holy grail for the 1%ers. Senators dreaming of youth serums. CEOs chasing second-act sand scandals. Logs showed trials, a Wall Street wolf in a comatose AIDS shell. Puppeteering trades from a hospital bed. All greenlit by Dad. His signature digital flourish like a noose. The controversial pivot hit me at 3 a.m. Scrolling donor lists. There was Harlan PAC money funneled to a Texas oil baron. Harlan's spiritual successor for the 26 midterms. Expose him. And I gutted Dad's legacy clean, but the baron's platform? Anti-immigrant firebrand. The kind who'd built walls higher than Trump's ego. His voters, desperate folks in dying towns. Clinging to rage like life rafts. Did they deserve the fallout? Or was collateral the price of truth? I chose the gray. Leaked selective files to a sympathetic reporter at the Times, enough to indict the Baron for fraud. But redacted the voter roll hacks that could have sparked riots. You're playing God now, Voss warned, but her eyes gleamed. We both knew. In D.C., God's where sensible heals. Next target, the fiancée, Cassandra Cass Beaumont. 25. X page. Climbing Capitol's greasy pole on Dad's coattails, and other things. Her Insta was a shrine to power couple goals, yacht selfies, red carpet glow-ups, captions dripping, blessed beyond measure red heart at Elias Harlan. But the drive painted her complicit, emails plotting my frame job. Her manicured nails on the keyboard rerouting funds. I confronted her at a Soul Cycle class in DuPont Circle, me in yoga pants and a hoodie, blending with the Lululemon Legion. She emerged sweaty, ponytails swinging, AirPods blasting some empowerment playlist. Aubrey? Oh God. The news, your dad's. I'm so. Save it.
Cass.
I blocked her path. Voice low. The motel's stale coffee on my breath. You knew about Mom. The pills. And the swap? You held my hand, literally, during the therapy session. Her face crumpled. Mascara streaking like war paint. He said it was consensual. A fresh start for all of us. You were broken after prison. He wanted to fix you. Fix me? Laughter barked out. Ugly and raw. You mean erase me? For what? A ring from a 62-year-old Mark. She glanced around. Pilates moms pretending not to eavesdrop. Look, I can help. Dirt on his rivals. Testimony for the feds.
Just. Don't ruin me.
I was nobody before him. The decision clawed at me. Expose her affair logs. Tank her influencer empire. Leave her scraping by like the Rust Belt girls Dad forgot? Or cut a deal. Let her skate for bigger fish? Controversy's currency in America. Forgive the viper. And you're soft. Crush her. And you're the monster. I handed her a burner. Sing for the DOJ. Or, I dropped the nudes, yours and his. Time-stamped from the echo logs. She nodded, tears salting her spin-class glow, and vanished into an Uber. By evening, her statement hit the wires. Elias manipulated me. The project was abuse, not innovation. His donor network quaked, stocks dipped. PACs paused checks. But Dad's ghost fought dirty. That night, as Voss and I plotted the final push, a whistleblower gala where I dropped the full Echo blueprint, my phone lit up. Unknown number. My own voice on the line. Aubrey. It's me. The fail-safe didn't kill me. Echo archived my consciousness. Help me out. And we split the tech. Father-daughter empire. Real this time. Chills spidered my arms. Digital immortality. Or trap. Why should I? After you fed me to the wolves. Static hissed. Then his laugh warped. Eternal. Because blood calls.
Kid.
And deep down, you missed the game. The power. I hung up, but the seed burrowed. Voss caught my face. Don't. He's poison. Yet as sirens wailed outside, another faulty wire at a safe house, I wondered. Revenge was sweet, but hollow. What if the twist wasn't his defeat, but mine trapped in his web? Forever the daughter chasing approval? The gala loomed, black-tie betrayal at the Kennedy Center. Influencers and insiders toasting transparency while hiding knives. I prepped in a borrowed gown. Voss wiring me with a panic button linked to the feds. End it tonight, she said. Upload live. Watch the dominoes fall. I nodded, but Dad's voice echoed in my skull. Winners rewrite the rules. The hall glittered, chandeliers dripping light like liquid gold. String quartet sawing at Bowie covers for the irony. I mingled. Champagne flute steady. Dropping hints to journos. Big reveal soon. Harlan's Frankenstein unlocked. Eyes widened, cards exchanged. Then, the MC called my name for the keynote. Spotlight hot. Heart hammering. I took the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight isn't about heroes or villains. It's about the lies we tell to sleep at night. Fingers flew on the hidden tablet. Blueprint uploading to WikiLeaks mirrors. Gasps as previews flashed on screens. Swap schematics. Victim logs. Dad's sign-off scrawls. Chaos brewed. Phones buzzing. Aides fleeing. But mid-sentence, the lights flickered. Static surged through the mic. And there he was, my face on the Jumbotron. Projected from God knows where. Stop her. She's the criminal, framed me to steal my legacy. The crowd murmured. Doubt rippling. Security hesitated. Who'd cuff the grieving daughter? I froze. The tablet slipping. Voss's voice in my earpiece. Abort, it's a deep fake overlay. But too late. Feds swarmed, Not for him.
For me.
Aubrey Harlan. You're under arrest for unauthorized access to classified tech. Betrayals encore. As cuffs clicked, I saw the play. Dad's digital ghost had spoofed the call, framing my confession as theft.
Voss.
Dragged out too, mouthed sorry over the scrum. In the van, bouncing toward holding, I laughed, manic.
Broken.
The twist reversed. Not his fall, but ours. Or was it? As the city lights blurred, a text pinged from Cass's burner. Your dad's code cracked the archive. He's free, new host. Run. Freedom?
Or the real game starting.
Holding was a fluorescent hell. Concrete benches. The stink of fierce sweat and regret. My gown shredded like confetti from a botched parade. The feds grilled me in a room that screamed, enhanced interrogation light, mirrored glass, coffee gone cold. A lawyer who looked like he'd rather be golfing. Miss Harlan. This digital intrusion, it's domestic terrorism. Your father's consciousness? National security asset. Asset. That's what I was once.
To him. Now.
It was his get-out-of-jail-free ghost. I lawyered up silent, mind racing through loopholes, echoes illegality, Voss's immunity deal pending. But doubt not, Cass's text burned in my brain. New host?
Dad.
Body hopping like a virus, puppeteering some fresh meat to rebuild. Dawn broke with bail, pro bono from a ACLU firebrand who'd seen the leaks. You're a symbol now.
Aubrey.
The swapped survivor. Outside, protesters clashed, MAGA holdouts chanting fake news versus Me Too marchers with Justice for Aubrey signs. DC's circus. My front row seat. Voss waited in a rental Prius. Face bruised but fierce. He's an proxy, a venture cap guy. Harlan donor. Name's Preston Tate. Silicon Valley transplant slinging AI ethics while bankrolling Black Ops. The swap was seamless. Tate's in cold storage. Vegetative from a yacht accident. Rage boiled. Hot and holy. Tate, 45. Chiseled jaw. TED Talk king preaching conscious capitalism. His feed was humble brags from Burning Man to Bilderberg, Dad's wet dream avatar. Where? I demanded, sliding into the passenger seat. McLean Estate. Fortified drones. Guards. The works.
Vincent d'Edme dossier.
Printed from a dark web cache. Tate's empire. Neural startups. VC funds laundering echo derivatives. The controversial calculus hit again. Storm the gates. Risk a bloodbath? Or hack subtle? Let the system chew him slow? America's tension thrums in those choices. The lone wolf versus the patient predator. I chose hybrid. Digital dagger first. From a cyber cafe in Adams Morgan, hood up. VPN stacked. We fished Tate's inner circle. Me as intern Aubrey, begging a reconciliation meet. His assistant bit. Forwarding calendar access. Boom. Backdoor into the smart home grid. Night fell sticky. Thunder rumbling like divine applause. We parked a mile out, trekking through woods thick with cicada hum. Voss carried the rig, a portable EMP tuned to fry neural links without toasting the host. Non-lethal, she whispered. Mostly. The estate loomed, modernist glass box. Lit like a casino. Guards patrolling with AR-15 slung casual. I scaled the perimeter fence, adrenalized, fingers raw on chain link, while Voss looped cams with a jammer. Inside, opulence screamed new money, infinity pool glowing turquoise. Walls pulsing with abstract art that cost more than Leavenworth's annual budget. Tate, Dad, lounged on a leather sectional, scotch in hand, my old law texts open on his iPad like camouflage. He looked up as I ghosted the French doors, silhouette sharp against the storm. Aubrey. Knew you'd come crawling. Not crawling.
Dad.
Closing the loop. I stepped in, Voss at my flank, EMP humming soft. His laugh was Tate's polish over Dad's grit. Look at you, hero complex in heels. But this body's mine now. Fresh legs, full head of hair. Echoes the future. You're just yesterday's news. Thunder cracked, lightning etching his smug face. Future? You mean fraud 2.0. Mom's murder. My frame, it's all spilling. Even in that skin, you're rotting. He surged up, Tate's gym-honed frame coiling. Rot? I gave you life, pulled you from the gutter after her mess. This. He gestured the mansion. Our legacy. Voss fired the EMP. Pulse silent. Brutal. Tate Dad convulsed. Eyes rolling, white. Collapsing in a heap of bespoke wool. Neural sever, she confirmed. Scanning vitals. Consciousness ejected. Tate's back online in 5. I knelt, breath ragged, staring at the shell. Controversial urge. End it here? Smother the spark?
No cameras.
No witnesses, just daughter excising the cancer. But mercy or cowardice stayed my hand. Tell him I said goodbye, I muttered as Voss primed the reversal rig. A Frankenstein charger bolted to the AV rack. The transfer hummed, Tate's eyes fluttering. Confusion clouding the blue.
What?
Harlan? The project. Oh God. He scrambled up, retching, as Voss downloaded the logs. Proof. Dad's digital fingerprint. Irrefutable. We exfiltrated clean, drones down. Alarms silenced, slipping into the downpour like thieves of truth. Back in the Prius. Tate's voice cracked over speaker. He promised enhancement. Stole my mind. Ally forged in fire. We testify tandem. But the high crashed hard. News alerts pinged. Another leak. This one twisted. Clips of me assaulting Tate. Deepfaked from Dad's ghost cache. Harlan Eris goes rogue, screamed the Chirins. Protests flipped. I was villain now. Entitled radical per Fox. Cass called then. Voice slurry pills? Booze? He's not done.
Aubrey.
The archive. He fragmented. Copies in the cloud. Hopping hosts like malware. One in a congressman. Another in a reporter. He's everywhere. The twist inverted again. Not one ghost. But legion.
Dad.
Viral. Infiltrating the machine that birthed him. Revenge? It was whack-a-mole with souls. Voss and I went underground, burner identities. Safe houses shuffling like cards. Tate joined. Shell-shocked but sharp. Funneling funds from frozen accounts. We built a kill switch, a worm to purge echo fragments. But it'd nuke innocence, hijacked minds in therapy trials. Elites mid-swap. The decision loomed, dark and divisive. Sacrifice the few for the many? Or let the plague spread? Damn the hosts. America's underbelly thrives on such dilemmas, patriot or tyrant.
Chose purge.
At a data center in Ashburn, Northern Virginia's server farm sprawl. We infiltrated under cover of a maintenance audit. Tate's creds opened doors. Voss's code slithered through firewalls. Alarms wailed as the worm deployed, digital Armageddon. Fragments screaming silent in the ether. Dad's last transmission hit my phone mid-extract, my voice.
Pleading.
Aubrey.
Don't. I'm you. Now.
The power. We could rule. I smashed the device. Tears mixing with sweat. You're nothing. Sirens closed in. We bolted. Lungs burning. Into the Virginia night. Free?
For now.
The purge rippled like a nuke in a pond. Subtle blasts. Then tidal waves. Echo hosts glitched worldwide. A London banker catatonic mid-deal. A Mumbai exec babbling Harlan quotes in Hindi. Headlines held global cyber mystery. Politicos possessed? Conspiracy pods lit up. Q-level fever dreams of deep state soul swaps.
Me?
I was the phantom leaker. Bounty hunters sniffing from Quantico to Quantico knockoffs. We three, Tate, Voss, me, holed up in a Smoky Mountain cabin. Tennessee hills hiding us like old Confederates. Days blurred. Satellite news marathons. Voss tweaking kill code variants. Tate pacing with PTSD shakes, muttering about stolen synapses.
Me?
I wrote the memoir in longhand, pages filling with the ugly poetry of betrayal. Dad didn't just frame me. I'd scribble by firelight. He erased me body, soul, the works. And in his skin, I became the monster I hated. Nights were worse. Dreams of the gala spit take. Wine morphing to blood. Trump's voice morphing to Dad's. Drain the swamp, but keep the alligators. I'd wake gasping. Voss's hand on my shoulder, sister in arms. Her own ghosts from DARPA days. You did right, Aubrey. The fragments are dying. He's dust. But dust lingers. A week in, Tate's contact lit up, congressional hearing subpoena. Oversight on neural tech, he said. Face ashen. They're calling all of us. Testify or be hunted. Refuse. And we were fugitives forever, show. And Dad's remnants could hijack the stand. The drive to D.C. was a funeral procession backroads. No plates. My gut knotted tighter than a filibuster. Controversy crowned the choice. Spill everything. Risk exposing innocence in echo trials? Or redact? Let the guilty skate for the greater good? America's debate fodder. Truth versus Tria.
We chose raw.
The hearing chamber was Senate wood panel gravitas. C-SPAN cams cold-eyed. Senators posturing like roosters. I took the hot seat first. Voice steady despite the Klieg lights. Project Echo wasn't science. It was sin. My father weaponized it to bury his crimes, my mother's murder, my imprisonment. He swapped into me, lived my life as a puppet show. I got it back. But the cost? Questions pelted. MS. Harlan. This consciousness transfer. Proof. Voss slid exhibits, logs. Brain scans. Dad's digital dirge. Gasps echoed. A blue state dem crossed himself. Tate followed. Voice cracking. Preston Tate. Victim. Harlan hijacked my body. My company. It's not enhancement, it's erasure. Voss closed. Technical teardown. Ethics autopsy. Then the twist's final gut punch. Mid-recess. The feed hacked. Jumbotrons flickering to my face. Dad's inflection. Lies. My daughter's deranged. Post-prison psychosis. Echoes a hoax. Psyop by Chinese agents. Deep fake perfection. My confession looped, admitting the purge as mass murder. Chaos. Gavels banging. Aides scrambling. Twitter imploding. Security swarmed. We were detained for verification. In the green room, Voss whispered, "It's him," last fragment. Latched to the Hill servers. Tate nodded grim. We ended here. Override code now. As marshals cuffed us for transport, I palmed Voss's thumb drive. Worm variant. Congressional grade. Slipped it into a stenographer's unattended laptop during the shuffle. For the record, I murmured, as the system word silent. The chamber reconvened. Dad's ghost raged on screen. Then, glitch. His face pixelated. Voice warping to static please. Aubrey.
Mercy.
I was wrong. Senators recoiled. Text frantic. Fade to black. Post-hearing, exoneration came swift, blue ribbon panel validating our claims. Indictments for echo enablers. Dad, erased. Truly final fragment purged. His empire ash. Tate reclaimed his life. A quieter venture now. Ethical AI. Penance funded. Voss vanished to a think tank in Zurich. Chasing redemption.
Me?
The memoir deal ballooned. TED invites trickled. But the spotlight burned. Talk shows probing, did you kill your father? Debates raged. Vigilante justice or necessary evil. I retreated to a brownstone in Brooklyn. The Hudsons hum a bomb to DC Strone. Dates fizzled. Too many ghosts in my laugh. Therapy unpacked the layers. Betrayals bedrock. Revenge's hollow core. You save yourself. Aubrey, my shrink said. That's the win.
Was it?
On quiet nights, I scroll old photos. Dad hoisting me at my law school grad. Grin wide as the mall. Was there ever truth there? Or just the long con? The ending's debatable. Triumph laced with tragedy. A daughter unmoored but unbroken. Happy? In fragments. But free? Damn right. America's like that. We spit our wine. Swap our skins.
And keep marching.
Swamp drained. One bottle at a time. And if the ghosts whisper, I whisper back. Your move.